Dave Dev, Dave Dev, Dave Dev. You're watching Dave Dev.
Boom! Welcome to Dave. Oh. Okay, I went a little too hard on the boom. Boom! Welcome to Dave's desk. I'm Dave. This is my desk. And today, my desk is a little empty because for the first time ever on Dave's desk, I actually have a brand new MOC to showcase. Ooh, I know, right? So, now I showcased this MOC off as a whip on my Instagram, but this is now the first time anybody gets to see it finished in its full glory. So I present to you Phalanx, a companion model to another MOC that I will share in a moment, known as Furnace. But yeah, this is sort of a second iteration of an idea that of a MOC that I've had for over a decade now. I built Furnace back in 2011. You know, he was one of my first serious MOCs to use the CCBS building system. And so I've had that MOC kicking around for a while. And the story goes with this guy, I built the head, and I built like a simplified version of the head. And it didn't have the fins on it and didn't have the front. It was just the visor and this Hero Factory part. I think that's to Furno, to like a different version of Furno, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'll put it up right here. There it is. That's what it's from. There you go. The power of editing. So yeah, I built the head and I had that lying around for a few months, right? And then my good friend G1 Builder, he came over one day. He doesn't live too far from where I live currently. And so he came for a visit. I've been to his place a few times. Yeah, he's been here before. He came over for a visit, and I just had this headline around. And he's like, "Hey, let's build something." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know. Can you get a torso started for this head design I have?" And I mean, I'd say within like an hour, we had most of this torso. Now, I've gone in and cleaned it up, and I've had to add some stuff to add on the weapons and stuff. So what I'll do is I will show you the progress that Mike made right here. That's what he came up with. And then I took that and then continued on with the MOC. So here that is. So with that being said, let's get into a bit more of the MOC. So where to start? His arms are pretty posable. I made sure that the arms can move a lot. He has kind of these working shoulder blades, which I really like. This is pretty neat. The shoulder armor here lifts up and moves around so that it's, you know, sort of like a floating shoulder pad type of thing. He theoretically could reach back and like grab a sword if he needed to, but I decided what I did is I gave him these little boosters on the arms. His arms are actually supposed to be relatively free, and you know he can like angle them and then like squat down and do like a jump boost. That's kind of the idea there. Or you know, like he can do like a rocket punch type of thing. I've seen in like some mech anime and you know that kind of stuff. That's not really a world I'm super well versed in, so I probably will say something stupid that isn't accurate or true. So I'm sorry, you know, Gundam and mech people. So one of the things I did a little differently here was I added more stickers. These stickers are actually all off of different things. I basically really just used stickers as like you're mocking, you know, just grab stickers from different things and just see where they fit. So that'll be my first little lesson is try stickers. This is off of a Ferrari, and I think these are as well. This is off of Reinhardt from Overwatch, the Diva Reinhardt. This, and then these are off of the Monkey King Ultramech. And then on the visor here, those are actually Hero Factory Invasion from Below, like HUD, like the heads-up display stuff. One of the things that's pretty wild about this MOC, that that's pretty crazy about the torso that Mike built, is he's super posable. He is almost like too posable to the point that like I'm like, why does he look so weird? And then I realized, oh, he's like slouched forward, and I'm trying to get him to like look right. I'm like, oh wait, and I literally just pushed it back. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, now he looks better. I had him slouching, and it's just this torso is such a great design. Mike did such a good job with it. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, man. The legs are nice and posable too. He has digigraded legs, so basically he's walking on his toes. Like that should actually be his foot, but then so like if you stand on your tiptoes, that's what digigrade feet are. Is basically animals walk on their toes, and their toes are longer than, like, say, our toes are. The arms here, they actually are meant to like fold up, and then it sort of packs in the weapons when not in use. What happens is it folds up like this. The idea is that like when he's not using the guns, the miniguns, they fold up on his back, and then he walks around kind of like he's got a backpack. It puts a lot of weight sort of on his back, makes him top heavy, but that's one of the things I really like about these feet is you just kind of push it forward, and he actually wants to lean forward a little more than he wants to lean back. So these feet are super stable. These legs are nice and stable, and that kind of gets into one of the talking points I want to get into next, which is the legs are actually based off of Furnace. All right, here we go. So here's Furnace. Now, he's an older MOC that I have, and as I finish this up, I realized there's some things about this MOC I kind of want to go back and fix and change. With Phalanx, I sort of color schemed it to where the infrastructure is black, and then like the outer armor is red. Whereas Furnace, that idea is kind of persistent, but it's not consistent. It's kind of there, but it's not like, so like in his arms, I think I'll go back and change, these are Mata torsos. So I'm going to go back and change that to black, right? And then the armor on the outside will be red. And then like on his back here, it's black when maybe, okay, I should do the infrastructure black, and then some of this could be red. So I just kind of have to make things consistent to the idea I presented here. I've had this MOC for years, and he's kind of always been a standalone MOC. But then when I built this head for him, I'm just like, oh, that kind of feels like it's in line with Furnace, and that wasn't entirely intentional. I just kind of happened to do it. So I'm just like, well, if we make this a MOC to go with Furnace, then it can maybe be like a line of like military drone type robots where they have like a consistent color scheme and consistent theming. So the lesson I have for you today is let old ideas be new ideas. And that means like, hey, if you had this old MOC that you built forever ago, update it, bring it into the present, bring it into the future. And that's kind of like, like when a band does a new version of a song, so to say, or like if an artist redoes some artwork, that's a good way to have this old concept, and then you can kind of refresh it. Let old ideas become new ideas. So with Furnace here, the heads just kind of end up being sort of similar in that it's red with like a bluish tint to it. Now this is medium blue, and this is trans light blue. They're actually two different colors, but I figured they were similar enough that it still worked. And this part didn't come in this color. Otherwise, I probably actually would have used it. And I don't think this part comes in trans light blue either. So, but they're similar enough. They don't have to be one for one the exact same color. But one of the things I wanted to do, as far as this, old ideas becoming new ideas, is I wanted certain things to be consistent across both models. And that is most evident in the legs. What I actually did is I took his legs off and stuck them on him. And I realized, okay, doing a one-for-one copy, the legs were a little bit too big and too chunky and just, they didn't quite work. So what I did is I modeled the new legs off of his, and we'll tilt you down a little bit. I started with the same foot and then kind of the digigraded pattern. And on Furnace, it's a little more pronounced. His femur is a little longer. So, and then like these exhaust pipes, they exist on both models, but I made them real small and again less pronounced on Phalanx because they didn't. I just kind of feel like they didn't need to be as pronounced. So yeah, that's the biggest comparison to the two of them is the legs. I sort of almost, I don't want to say I copy and pasted legs because there's definitely some very big differences, but like the lower legs are definitely similar. The other thing I did was I sort of wanted to use that motif of certain parts appearing on both models. So this part is on Furnace's back right here. I used the Borak body part. Those are on his hips and his legs, but they're also here on Phalanx's thighs right here. So those are both present. I use this exact same armor configuration down here on Phalanx, the shell, and then the rounded. So that is here. I tried to get this part on Phalanx. I actually have more of these. I couldn't quite swing it, so I was a little bummed out I couldn't get the Hero Factory Wave 1 part on there. And then I didn't have any more of these, and these are actually a little hard to get too. But like I was able to get one of these, this Hero Factory part on the back here, right here. It's sort of like a bump guard for anything. I put it there to help protect these from getting smacked because these are those projectiles where if you push down on them, they go flying. And so I kept bumping into them, so I wanted something on the back to sort of as like a bump guard. And it turns out that this part here ended up being a good use for that. I also got the Tahu Stars foot here. That also shows up on Furnace down here. There was just a lot of things where I intentionally try to use the same parts throughout the build. And the idea is that like I want them to feel like, how like different models of cars from like the same manufacturer. So like, all the Fords will kind of have similar aspects to them where they look the same, or whatever car you want to pick, where like they might have different cars, but there are noticeable traits between all of them. That's kind of what I wanted here for the theming, is I want these to look sort of similar. A lot of things that carried over into this intentionally, but I also wanted it to be its own model. So it can stand on its own. The arms are totally different. Obviously, he has like these tanks for like fuel for his flamethrowers, because that's Furnace's whole thing. Is he's like an incendiary model, like he's the infantry, and then he's like the incendiary unit, the guy with the flamethrower backpack that would come in, and he's more of a specialized role. So yeah, the idea here is that they're meant to be brothers in a sense. Furnace is going to get worked on. I'm going to update him as well, but I wanted to show off the original version of Furnace because I want to show like the comparisons between this older MOC and this newer MOC, and sort of give a demonstration of like how far my building techniques and style have come. But one of the things that Furnace can do is he's got the missile launchers and the stud launcher, and the idea is you've got this gear on the back, and it's got this arm in here, and it's got a little lift arm in there that you can maybe see spinning, and you're supposed to spin it, and it launches the projectiles and the studs all at once. And the idea there was that it's like a big, like, it's like a charge weapon where, like, he opens up and he's got to, like, stand there and charge. And then it's this big, giant fire blast out of the center of his chest. And that's actually why his name is Furnace. It's a functional element with inside the model. And because it's a functional element, I wanted to carry that over to Phalanx. So that's why when I built the weapons, they aren't just for show, they actually work, because the miniguns are the stud shooters, and you're being shot at. So the miniguns are the stud shooters here, and we're gonna shoot at Furnace. So you spin this gear here, and I'm using little the miniature turntables here, and that's what's making that work. Because the challenge here was I wanted, this is usually static, and then the little launcher part is what fires, but I kind of wanted that to be inverted, and so I spent like a good hour working just on this to try and get, like, how do I make this work? And I had all kind of kooky ideas, and then I realized, wait a second, I think I can actually get what I want with this turntable part here. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. You spin this, and then the stud shooter spins, and the launcher is static. And so, the funny thing is, I sort of got the main figure done, and then I was like, okay, what kind of weapon do I give him? Oops. Yeah, this part isn't held on there very well. I couldn't really get a good crotch plate going that was nice and sturdy as I would like. So he's got a few little fiddly bits. But I was trying to get the weapon figured out, and I'm like, do I want to? It got to the point where 3 different people told me to do shoulder mounted cannons. Mike, G1 Builder, told me to do it. Smitty, Mockman Smitty told me to do it. And my friend Azon Bobcat, everybody who I've mentioned before on this channel, all 3 of them told me shoulder cannons. And by the 3rd person, I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I gotta try it. So I did. And then once I put like something that resembled this cannon on there, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the move. That's clearly what I should be doing. And then so the idea was a minigun and then the missile launcher over here on the other side. The problem is the missile launcher is too heavy. This thing is a big old chunk of plastic, and it just was. And I even tried to do a smaller version where it was less of these missile launchers, but the whole thing was still heavy, and he kept wanting to tilt off to the side. I eventually figured out, wait a second, if we stick it right here on this back in this nice, opening, because the way the top of his head and his shoulders all work, there's this nice opening here, and if you want to fire the missiles, you can just lean his head forward like this, and then we'll shoot at Steve. All right, Steve's dead again. Sorry, Steve. You're a good sport. So the nice thing is and it's super easy to flick them all off, and then you can relatively easily reload them too. It's not difficult to. And then if you really want to reload it even easier, it pops right off because I have it held on here with one little single axle right here. The guns fold up like I showed you, and yeah, that's Phalanx. He's pretty posable. He's functional. I think he looks pretty cool. Mike said he wasn't too crazy about the cast, but you know, I did them intentionally as a way to sort of mirror Furnace's. That was the criticism I got back from Mike. I got a few criticism here and there. They different people. Mike wanted me to do certain things. Drew wanted me to do certain things, and I kind of, I'll be honest, I ignored them a little bit. The nice thing about constructive feedback and constructive criticism is like it can help you look at a different perspective. But certain times you just got to be, you got to know what it is you want and follow through on your vision. Because if you listen to everybody else, then eventually you're not doing the thing you want to do, but ultimately you're the one who gets to filter out what is relevant and what isn't. I think that's the other lesson is take constructive criticism, but know when to filter it too. Not all the criticism you're gonna get is valid, because you have to sort of pit the criticism you're getting against the vision you have for the MOC. You can kind of still go your own way, but keep that criticism in mind. So yeah. Let's see, is there anything else? Like I said, he's pretty posable. This torso is supremely posable. It's ridiculous how much articulation is in this torso. Mike did a fantastic job with it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this MOC. I'm really happy with the end results. It's not, I wouldn't say it's perfect. There's some things I wish the shoulders were a little bit wider so that the armor here could like not clash into stuff, but I tried that and I made the arms too wide and he just felt too bulky, because he's supposed to look streamlined compared to Furnace over here. All right, guys, I think that'll just about do it here with Furnace and Phalanx here. I appreciate you guys watching this long. Share the video if you can. I work hard on these videos, and it takes a decent amount of effort to do this. So please, if you're enjoying the videos, share them so that more people can see them, and we can grow the channel and the views and stuff like that. I'd really appreciate that. So with that being said, I will see you guys next time, and have a great freaking day. Boom! Welcome to day. Oh. Okay, I went a little too hard on the boom. Uh-oh. Oops. Oh, shit. Oops. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's try that again.